In a world where average fades, only the relentless rise. You're stepping into a new standard. Strength, purpose, leadership. This is the Chad Miller Fitness Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chad Miller Fitness Podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that's going to ruffle a few feathers, and honestly, I'm completely fine with that because we need to have this conversation. Everyone says follow your passion. You've heard it 1,000 times. I've heard it 1,000 times. And look, maybe it sounds romantic, right? Inspirational, like something that belongs on a motivational poster with an eagle soaring across the sky. But today, I want you to burn that poster. Here's why I say that. Passion without skill will only get you so far, and that doesn't win. That doesn't create the life you actually want. This episode is about why your value isn't found in your passion. It's found in your precision, in your ability to execute at a level that other people simply can't match. Okay, now let me tell you about a story that'll probably hit home for some of you. Early on in my coaching career, I was fired up. I had all the passion in the world. I had the energy. I was hyping up my clients, throwing everything I had at each session. I was the guy who would show up with this infectious enthusiasm, thinking that my energy alone was going to transform people's lives. And you know what? It worked for a little while, but then reality hit. Looking back now, I can see exactly what was happening. I was using my enthusiasm to cover up what I actually lacked, which was skill. Real, developed, refined skill that actually took time and experience to develop. And that's the trap that so many of us fall into, especially as driven men. We confuse being excited with being excellent. We think that because we care deeply about something, that caring is enough. But here's what I learned the hard way. The market doesn't care how passionate you are. Your clients don't pay you for your energy levels. They pay you for results. And results come from skill, not from how fired up you are on any given Tuesday. Here's the thing about passion. It's unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up and you're ready to conquer the world. Other days you can barely get out of bed, let alone feel passionate about your work. But skill is always there. Skill compounds. Skill builds on itself day after day, week after week, year after year. I now work with top performers. CEOs, high-level executives, former athletes, operators who are running big businesses. And here's what I've learned from watching these guys operate. They don't rely on passion to get them through. They rely on systems. They rely on skills they've developed over the years of deliberate practice. They show up not because they feel like it, but because they built the capability to perform regardless of how they feel. And that's the difference between amateur hour and professional excellence. You're not underpaid because you're not passionate enough. Let's be brutally honest here. You're underpaid because you haven't developed the rare skills that make you indispensable. The same thing applies to your body, your energy levels, your relationships. If you want extraordinary outcomes in your life, you need uncommon capabilities. So here's what I want you to do. Stop chasing the dopamine hit of doing what you love and start mastering something you can't ignore. Something that the world needs and will pay you well for. Let me give you the framework that's helped me and a lot of my clients dial this in. It's called the Skill First Framework, and it has 4 parts. Number 1, don't chase passion, pursue precision. Your goal isn't to stay motivated all the time. That's impossible, and in all reality, it's amateur thinking. Your goal is to become lethal, effective, and I mean that in the best possible way. You got to do it in a few specific areas that make everything else in your life easier. Think about it this way. If you're in sales, passion might get you to make the calls, but having the skill in objection handling, that's what closes the deals and puts money in your bank account. If you're a coach like me, passion might get you excited about helping people, but skill in cueing, energy transfer, and pattern recognition, mindset, that's what will actually transform your clients' lives and build your reputation. If you're building your body, passion might get you to the gym on the days you feel good, but skill in understanding movement mechanics, programming, recovery, and nutrient timing, that's what transforms your physique and gives you the energy to dominate in all other areas of your life. Do you see the difference? Passion is the spark, skill is the engine that actually drives results. Number 2, define your target identity. Let's flip the thinking here. Most people think about what job they want or what title they want to have as a starting point. Instead of doing that, define your target identity. I want you to ask yourself this question. Who do you want to become in the next 12 months? Not what do you want to do, who do you want to be? What type of man do you want to see when you look in the mirror? How do you want to show up in your relationships, in your work, in your community? Once you have that vision clear, then ask, what skills would that version of me already have mastered? Would he be an exceptional communicator? Would he have mastery over his physical conditioning? Would he be someone who can execute under pressure without falling apart? Would he be a deep worker who can focus for hours at a time? Would he have the leadership skills to inspire and influence others? Write them all down and use that as a starting point. Number 3, circle 1 or 2 skills and go deep. Don't mess this part up, and it's probably the most important part of this entire framework. A lot of people try to develop 10 skills at once instead of mastering 1 or 2. Listen to me carefully. You want to be rare? You want to stand out in a crowded marketplace? You want to become someone who can't be ignored? Then become exceptional. Not good, not decent, but exceptional, and do it at just a couple things that move the needle the most in your life. That's what's going to get you the traction. I mean, imagine someone trying to learn fitness, yoga, powerlifting, high performance training, plyometrics, Olympic lifts, bodybuilding, and Pilates all at the same time. Take a guess at what happens. They become mediocre at everything and excellent at nothing. That's not a strategy, that's a recipe for frustration and average results. Instead, look at your list and circle 1, maybe 2 skills max. Number 4, invest with intent. Here's the final piece, and don't try to take shortcuts here. Don't just read another book about it. Don't watch 200 YouTube videos and call that training. If you want to develop real skill, you need to invest real resources. You're going to have to invest your time, yes, but also money. You need feedback from people who are better than you. You need coaching. You need to put in the reps with skin in the game. Here's a quick test for you. If someone asked you right now, what skill are you intentionally sharpening this quarter? Would you have a clear, specific answer? Or would you fumble around and maybe mention something vague about getting better at stuff? If you can't answer that question clearly and specifically, that's your starting point. That's what we need to fix. Here's what I want you to understand. When you develop rare and relevant skills, passion actually follows. Nothing feels better than doing something at an elite level. Nothing is more satisfying than being the guy who gets called when something important needs to happen. I've experienced this personally. Early in my career, I was passionate but unskilled. I was excited but ineffective with helping people make permanent transformations. And in all reality, it was so frustrating. I knew I had more to offer, but I couldn't figure out how to translate that into real results. But as I started developing specific skills, really dialing in my coaching, learning how to read people's movement patterns, simplifying nutrition for high compliance, understanding the psychology and mindset, something interesting happened. My passion for the work grew, not because I was trying to be more passionate, but because I was getting better results for my clients and results that actually stuck. I was becoming someone they could rely on, someone who could solve problems that other coaches couldn't solve. And that feeling, that sense of mastery and competence, that's more sustainable and more fulfilling than any temporary burst of passion could ever be. Here's the reality check. If you've been feeling stagnant lately, and I know a lot of you have, if you're not where you want to be income-wise, fitness-wise, fulfillment-wise, I want you to ask yourself this question. What skill am I deliberately developing right now? Not what am I interested in, not what sounds cool. What skill am I actively, intentionally, systematically developing? And if the answer isn't clear, if you have to think about it for more than 2 seconds, then that's your answer. That's why you feel stuck. That's why you're not making the progress you want to make. You're waiting for passion to strike instead of building the skills that create the life you actually want. I do love passion. I'm all in on doing the work that lights you up and living a life that excites you. But if you want to stand out in a crowded world, if you want to build a life of real leverage and leadership and leave a lasting legacy, you need more than good intentions and positive energy. You need mastery. You need to be exceptional at something that matters. If you want to pursue passion, just make sure you also pick one high-impact skill in that area, something that would fundamentally change your trajectory if you got really, really good at it. Maybe it's learning how to sell. Maybe it's developing your leadership and presence. Maybe it's mastering your physical condition so you have the energy and confidence to show up powerfully in every area of your life. Whatever it is, commit to it, invest in it, get coaching, get feedback, put in the reps. If it's in the area of fitness, I can help you with that. Go ahead and pick up my book, Belief Mode, or reach out for me for coaching. I would be happy to sharpen the iron that makes your fitness life effective and transformative. The big takeaway from all this, when you're a man of real skill, when you've developed capabilities that other people simply don't have, you don't need to talk about your passion. Your results will do the talking for you. That's what I've got today. Let's build skill. Let's raise standards. Let's dominate this next season. This is Chad Miller. I'll see you in the next episode.
You just listened to the Chad Miller Fitness Podcast, where men rise with discipline, clarity, and action.